My name is Anna, and I am a mother of one little girl named Lily. She is 6 years old, bright, sweet, and full of laughter. Every time she smiles, I feel my heart melt like soft butter on warm bread. She is my sunshine, my little world. My husband's name is Mark. He is a kind man, quiet, patient, and funny in a simple way. We've been married for 8 years, and before Lily was born, I thought our love was everything. We were young and wild. We went to small cafes on weekends, watched movies late into the night, and took long walks just talking about dreams. When Lily came into our lives, everything changed beautifully, but also silently. When Lily was born, I remember Mark's face. He looked at her with such deep love that tears filled his eyes. I had never seen that look before, not even for me. It wasn't romantic love. It was something pure and bigger. He held her tiny hand and whispered, "Hi, my little girl. I'm your daddy." At that moment, I felt something mix inside me, love, joy, but also a little sting of something else. Maybe fear? Maybe sadness? I didn't understand it then. As months passed, I watched how Mark became a perfect father. He learned how to change diapers, warm milk, and sing lullabies in the middle of the night. He would hold her and whisper stories until she fell asleep. Sometimes I stood in the doorway, watching them. The way he smiled at her, the way she curled her tiny fingers around his. My heart filled with pride, but also with a strange ache I couldn't name. When Lily turned 3, she began to talk a lot. Her favorite word was daddy. Every morning, when Mark left for work, she would run to the door shouting, "Daddy, don't go." And when he came home, she would jump into his arms yelling, "Daddy's back." She rarely did that with me. Of course, she loved me. She would still hug me, still ask me for snacks, still want me to brush her hair. But when Mark was around, her eyes sparkled brighter. I would sit at the kitchen table watching them play, pretending to be busy. I smiled, but deep inside, I felt a shadow moving in my chest. Sometimes I would think, why doesn't she call for me like that? Then I would scold myself. Anna, stop it. She's a child. She loves you both. But the feeling stayed. It wasn't anger. It was a quiet, lonely jealousy, not of my husband, but of the bond they shared, a bond that didn't need me. There were little moments, simple, ordinary things, that made my heart ache without warning. Like the time Lily fell and scraped her knee. She cried loudly, and before I could move, she ran straight to Mark. "Daddy, it hurts," she said, tears rolling down her cheeks. I came over with a bandage, trying to help, but she pushed my hand away. "No, Daddy, do it." Mark looked at me softly, maybe noticing the hurt in my eyes. "Honey, let Mommy help." But Lily shook her head. "No, Daddy." I smiled and stepped back, saying, "It's okay." But later that night, when I was alone in the kitchen washing dishes, I cried quietly. I wasn't angry at Lily. I wasn't even angry at Mark. I was angry at myself for feeling jealous of my own daughter. I told myself, "You're her mother. She's just a child." But feelings don't always listen to logic. Over time, I started to feel a quiet distance between me and Mark too. He spent so much time with Lily, reading her stories, building toy castles, drawing pictures. When he came home, his first question was always, "Where's Lily?" I knew it wasn't wrong. He loved his child, as any good father should. But I missed when he used to ask about me first. Sometimes at night, when Lily was asleep, I tried to start conversations like before about our days, our dreams, our plans. But he often got tired quickly or talked about something funny Lily said. I listened, smiled, nodded. But inside, I felt like a quiet guest in my own home, watching a beautiful love story between father and daughter that didn't have room for me. One weekend, Lily's kindergarten had a family day. There were games, songs, and a small performance. Lily was so excited. She wore a pink dress and had 2 small braids. She looked like a tiny angel. When her class performed, she kept looking at the crowd, searching for us. The moment she found Mark, her whole face lit up. She waved at him again and again. I waved too, but she didn't notice me. After the show, she ran straight into Mark's arms. "Daddy, did you see me dance?" He lifted her up, laughing. "You are the best, sweetheart." I walked slowly behind them, carrying her water bottle. Nobody noticed my silence. That night, after everyone went to sleep, I stood in front of the mirror, brushing my hair. My reflection looked tired, older, maybe invisible. Tears came again, not out of anger, but out of something soft and painful. I whispered to myself, "Why do I feel this way? Why can't I just be happy?" One night, I had a dream. In the dream, I was walking in a big garden filled with white flowers. I saw Lily running ahead, laughing. But when I called her name, she didn't look back. She kept running toward a figure, Mark, standing in the sunlight. They held hands and walked away together, while I stood there, calling softly, "Wait for me." When I woke up, my pillow was wet with tears. I realized something that morning. I wasn't jealous because I didn't have their love. I was jealous because I was afraid of losing it. I was afraid that one day I would just be the background of their happy world, the one who cooked, cleaned, and watched them from a distance. One evening after dinner, I finally spoke to Mark. He was sitting on the sofa reading a storybook with Lily on his lap. I waited until she went to bed, then sat beside him. "Mark," I said softly, "can I tell you something strange?" He looked at me, smiling. "Of course." I took a deep breath. "Sometimes I feel jealous of you and Lily." He blinked, surprised. "Jealous? Why?" "I don't know," I said, my voice trembling. "It's silly. I know she loves me. I know you love me too. But when I see how close you two are, sometimes I feel left out, like I'm watching from the outside." For a moment, he was silent. Then he took my hand gently. "Anna," he said softly, "you're not on the outside. You're the center of this family. You gave us everything. The reason Lily and I are close is because of you, because you taught her how to love." I looked at him, trying to believe it. He continued, "Do you know what she says when I put her to bed? She says, 'Daddy, Mommy makes the best pancakes. Mommy smells like flowers. Mommy always knows when I'm sad.' She adores you, Anna. Maybe she doesn't show it the same way, but she loves you more than anyone." Tears rolled down my cheeks. "Really?" He smiled. "Really? You don't have to be the loudest love to be the deepest one." A few days later, something small but beautiful happened. It was a rainy afternoon. Mark was still at work. Lily and I were sitting near the window, watching raindrops slide down the glass. "Mommy," she said suddenly, "can I tell you something?" "Sure, sweetie." She looked at me with her big brown eyes. "When Daddy's home, I like to play with him. But when Daddy's not home, I like being with you best." "Why, honey?" I asked gently. "Because you listen to my stories longer," she said with a shy smile. "And you always kiss my hair." I didn't say anything. I just pulled her close, my heart overflowing with quiet love and relief. At that moment, I realized love has many shapes. Some are loud and playful like her time with Mark. Some are soft and silent like ours. After that day, I stopped comparing. I started to enjoy watching them, father and daughter, laughing, playing, sharing secrets. Instead of feeling left out, I began to feel proud, because I knew, deep down, I was part of every smile they shared. I was the glue that held them together. When Lily hugged Mark, she was hugging a part of me too. When Mark kissed her forehead, he was loving the little piece of both of us that lived inside her. Jealousy didn't disappear overnight. Sometimes it still whispered inside me, small and soft. But now I understood it came from love, not hate. And understanding is the first step to peace. One night, we sat together as a family, watching old videos of when Lily was a baby. In one clip, Mark was holding her tiny hands, trying to make her walk. I was behind the camera, laughing and cheering. Lily turned to me and said, "Mommy, you sound so happy in that video." I smiled. I still am. She climbed onto my lap, resting her head on my shoulder. "I love you, Mommy," she whispered. And just like that, the small ache inside me melted away. Because love doesn't need to compete. It just needs to be understood. Now, when I see Lily run to Mark, calling Daddy with all her joy, I smile for real. Because I know that joy comes from the home I helped build, from the love that began with me. I still have moments of weakness, moments when I feel small or invisible. But I remind myself that being a mother is not about being the favorite. It's about being the heart that beats quietly behind everything. And that, I've learned, is the strongest kind of love there is.